From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Thursday, September the 30th, 2021. We open with the historic visit today of Israel's Foreign Minister Yair Lapid to Bahrain, in what is said to be the first official visit of an Israeli minister to the kingdom. Lapid and his team were welcomed upon landing this morning by Bahrain's Foreign Minister Abdulatif Al-Zayani, and he met with counterparts in the Bahraini Foreign Ministry, where Lapid said, "We talked about the cooperation between the countries and the ways to make the official peace between us an active economic, security, political, and civic friendship." Lapid then met with Crown Prince and Prime Minister Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa and with the King of Bahrain, His Majesty Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, in what Lapid called a historic, warm, and hopeful meeting. Lapid wrote, "His Majesty's leadership and inspiration have led to true cooperation, and our meeting outlined the path forward for our relationship." The sit-down was the first public meeting between the Bahraini king and an Israeli official. Lapid also signed a number of memorandums of understanding with his foreign minister counterpart, Al-Zayani, on environmental protection, sports, and development of water resources. And the two took part in a joint press conference where Al-Zayani told Lapid, "Your visit builds on the considerable progress we have made over the last year and underlines our joint desire to spread peace and stability across the Middle East." Al-Zayani reaffirmed Bahrain's genuine commitment to building warm peace and cooperation with Israel. Lapid told the conference the global struggle today isn't between right and left or between Judaism and Islam or Christianity. The global struggle today is between moderates and extremists. He said, "Together with all our friends in the Gulf, we are leading today a brave coalition of moderates who are looking forward and creating a prosperous future of stability and tolerance." Later today, the foreign minister opened Israel's embassy in the Bahraini capital of Manama. Today, by the way, also marked the first commercial flight between Bahrain and Israel as Gulf Air Flight GF 972 landed this morning at Ben Gurion International Airport just outside of Tel Aviv. And staying with the foreign minister, Yair Lapid strongly condemned an alleged attack carried out by Jewish Israeli extremists in the West Bank, suspected of throwing stones at Palestinians and Palestinian property in the Palestinian village of Al-Mukafa in the Hebron Hills on Tuesday. 12 Palestinians were said to have been injured, including a 3-year-old boy. Lapid said, "This violent incident is horrific and it is terror. This isn't the Israeli way and it isn't the Jewish way. This is a violent and dangerous fringe," he said, referring to the group who carried out the attack, "and we have a responsibility to bring them to justice." Israel police has arrested 6 Jewish Israeli suspects so far. A Palestinian woman tried to carry out a terror attack in Jerusalem's Old City this morning. Police said she approached Israeli officers near the Chains Gate, took out a knife, and tried to stab them. The officers opened fire, neutralizing the terrorist, who died at the scene. A woman who worked as a secretary in a Nazi death camp skipped out on her trial today. 96-year-old Irmgard Furkner apparently said she didn't want to come to the courthouse in Itzehoe, Germany today. She was detained several hours later by police. Her scheduled hearing now pushed back to October the 19th. Furkner worked as a secretary to the SS commander at the Stutthof concentration camp. She faces more than 11,000 counts of accessory to murder. The court statement reading in part that she aided and abetted those in charge of the camp in the systematic killing of those imprisoned there between June of 1943 and April of 1945 in her function as a stenographer and typist in the camp commandant's office. Faulkner has said in the past that she was not aware of the killings taking place at the camp. She is set to face a medical examination to determine if she is fit to be taken into custody. Nazi hunter and head of the Simon Wiesenthal Center's office in Jerusalem, Ephraim Zuroff, said of the incident today, tweeting that if she was healthy enough to flee, she was healthy enough to go to jail. Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Thursday, September the 30th, we bring you encore presentations of our special programming Durban Revisited, marking 20 years since the infamous Durban Conference. With discussions tonight on Zionism and anti-Semitism, beginning at 7 o'clock with human rights icon Natan Sharansky, at 7:30 with Arizona State Representative Alma Hernandez, at 8 o'clock with French intellectual Bernard-Henri Lévy, and at 8:30 with New York Times columnist Bret Stephens. At 9 tonight, Mark Golub sits down with Brooke Goldstein on L'chaim, and then at 10 o'clock, more Durban Revisited with Richard and Phyllis Heidemann, who were at the 2001 Durban Conference. And coming up next, it's the ILTV's Insider. And that's the JBS News Update for Thursday, September the 30th, 2021. I'm Teisha Bader. Stay healthy, stay well.